Okay, so I know my setup here isn't professional enough for this topic, but the words I say will be the same whether I'm in a studio or if I'm in my college dorm room on my bed. And this topic is very important, and I want to talk about it right now before we see everything play out in real time. And we're already seeing my predictions come true when it comes to public opinion. So Joe Biden pulling out of Afghanistan. Great politically, right? Amazing politically. Americans don't want to be there. We never should have gone there. We should not be spending more money and losing more lives as a result of being in a place where we should not be. It's not our job to try and nation build, to build their democracy up, to fight their civil war for them. Many Americans had that viewpoint. But when considering public opinion, you need to understand that people don't really understand the complexities of what's happening. They don't understand the geopolitical circumstances, or even within Afghanistan. Even people I know that study this stuff don't have a good grasp on it. And I mean like regular political stuff. They don't understand what's happening in Afghanistan. Um, when it comes to the externalities of pulling out of a place like Afghanistan, their government it's a very centralized government in a very big country. The Afghanistan, their government basically had like zero ability to govern because of political divisions and because the Taliban for years has been systemically dislocating or disconnecting the central government from controlling other districts. What would be called districts in America, in that country. So that government in Afghanistan couldn't get food places, they couldn't get supplies places, they couldn't get water places, they couldn't move effectively in that country. It's a huge country. American soldiers they were only occupying a small chunk of Afghanistan. Most of what America did to stop the Taliban's advance was through airstrikes and drone strikes. That's how America prevented the collapse of Afghanistan. Right now, Joe Biden had two options with the peace deal running out in May and the Taliban ready to close in. One option Joe Biden could have done, and remember, Trump did a troop reduction um, during his administration. One option for Joe Biden would have been to re-up troops. It would have taken even more of an application in that region in general if we wanted to stay longer. So that would be very, 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 very unpopular with the American people. Right now, what's happening is Joe Biden picked number two, option number two, pulling off the band aid. We need to leave right now. We need to leave right now. And Joe Biden and his admin and our intelligence agencies somehow underestimated how quickly the Taliban would be able to take over that country. The political will isn't there for that government to work, for that army to work. Although the Afghanistan army was dwarfing what the Taliban has, although their capabilities dwarf what the Taliban has. If you have no political will and no ability to govern and no ability to work as a unit, that isn't going to be something that is sustainable. When your own president leaves the country a week before it's fully taken over, I don't know how the United States didn't understand the situation on the ground. Um, but when it comes to how people are perceiving this, if you asked them a couple of weeks ago, do you want to get out of Afghanistan? Many Americans said yes. Like almost three-fourths of Americans said yes, we should not be there anymore. We should get out. But what's happening now is we're seeing the fallout of ripping our troops out, of simply leaving. And people do not like that fallout. And the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they are all tearing into Biden over what's happening. They are all tearing into Biden. America leaving that country completely crushed their morale, and all the images of people desperately trying to run away from the Taliban are going everywhere. Those videos are everywhere. If Jake Tapper talks about this issue, he was talking to Blinken, I think, about this issue and others. And he basically says outright, Joe Biden did a bad thing. Joe Biden did the wrong thing. MSNBC, Joe Biden did the bad thing. Joe Biden did the wrong thing. Do you think any Americans understand the complexities of what's happening in that? No, they don't. They do not understand those complexities. So now, since Americans, a couple weeks ago they said yes, get out of Afghanistan. They said get out. We do not want to be there. But now, after the big media wave comes through, After people see videos of women losing all of their rights because the Taliban take Afghanistan over, after all of this goes through the media cycle, now instead of an approval boost for Biden, we are seeing support for withdrawing from Afghanistan crash. And it's below 50% now. It's far below 50%. The numbers I'm seeing now are between 30 and 40%. Now that people are seeing what's actually happening when we leave, I know people are saying we should have left on better terms. Maybe try to, maybe less of a band-aid approach. Take it off slowly. Make sure more power structures are in place. But that's difficult to do if you understand the landscape of Afghanistan. Um, and many people would say that's not our responsibility. There is no good way Biden could have gotten out of this situation. There is literally no way. What the Trump admin did really did force his hand. And now the American people don't like what they're seeing, which is crazy, dude. Many are having remorse. Many veterans that served there are having remorse, just like those who served in Vietnam did. Like, oh, it was all for nothing. 7 tours here or whatever. This was all for nothing. And often in politics, no matter what, perception matters more than facts. How people perceive something matters a lot more than how something is, although that is a sad truth. So now I see people all over the place, and it is a tragedy. Um, Posting up pictures of little girls being taken who are going to be sold into marriages at the age of like 10 and stuff like that, who are going to lose all their rights, who are going to be beaten to a pulp. This is all very dark stuff. Um, People are posting these stories on Instagram, post on Facebook. They're watching the news. They are saying, how dare Joe Biden pull us out like this? I cannot believe Joe Biden let this happen. Why did Joe Biden do this? Joe Biden? Really? Joe Biden, you did it the wrong way. They don't know what the wrong way is. They don't know anything about this country. They don't know anything about geopolitics. They don't know anything except what their brain tells them to feel. And that's something we need to understand about politics. Even if, like, a Kyle Kalinske approach would think, wow, we're getting out of Afghanistan. This is so cool. This is so cool. So cool. Kyle Kalinske said, oh my God, Biden's going to be so popular now. Bro, you got to learn about the real world, how the real world reacts to things. Now Biden's running, trying to get away from this terrible optics nightmare. It's funny. Whatever Kyle Kalinske thinks about a situation, how that's going to play out politically, is going to be the opposite of what he believes. It's kind of funny, actually. Anyway, yeah.